Welcome back, everyone. So today is the day that I'm releasing a version of MetaPhoto AI for anyone to use. This is a Patreon only release. So if you're a supporter of mine on Patreon, then you will have access to this app. So this app is a program that I've developed in Python, and it enables you to automatically keyword and title your stock photographs using the power of artificial intelligence, the new buzzword. um, but this is what I'm calling the light version of the app. At the moment, there's some restrictions in place. You can only work with JPEG images, and it only uses the OpenAI API, which uses GPT-4o to title and keyword the photos. So that said, you will need an OpenAI API key to utilize this app. I will link to a video that shows you how to get access to an OpenAI API key. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into it and see what this program is about. All right, so here I am on my Patreon page, and the only post currently available is the post, introducing MetaPhoto AI. So if you're a member, you will have access to the full post here, and you will be able to download and install the app. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and download it now. All right, so download. Hop over to my downloads folder. And here it is. I'm just going to double click. And you will get this message because, I didn't sign this. It's currently from an unknown publisher. Okay, so run anyways. Yeah, and it shows you the path that it's going to install it. And we'll say yes. All right, so finish. And you can see it created a new MetaPhoto AI icon on the desktop. So if we double click that, so this is the app in its current form. So I'm going to go over the interface and show you how to work it. All right, so before doing anything really, I'm just going to first come and install the API key, or, input the API key. So to do that, we would go over to the settings tab, and I'm just going to copy my API key off screen. Okay. And then I'm going to hit this little set API key, and I've entered it. I'm going to save, and it gives you a message that API's keys were saved. All right, so I'm going to close it and reopen the app just to ensure that everything is operational. If the API key is working, you'll see the model shown here. So you can see we're currently using GPT-4o. That's the most recent model from OpenAI. Okay, so we have the interface. This is where you select the directory that you want to work with. So I just want to say that this is a batch keywording application at the core. It's not meant to like individually work with, individual photos, but you can. But it's a little clunky in that manner. It's meant to, select a directory and keyword all of the images within that directory. So that's where you would select the directory. Once you do, you will see the photos here. If we come over, you will see we have different options. So you can do editorial images, and it will keyword and title them with the appropriate editorial title, the way it should be on Shutterstock. And you can select your categories. Yeah. So if we go to settings, You have the option to create CSV file only. So if you don't want a keyword, you just want to go through a batch of images and create CSV files, you can. And option to always create a CSV file after batch keyword in. And you have the option to skip files that have already been keyworded. So if you have a folder that you're always working with, you're adding new photos all the time and you want to keep keywording photos within that folder, then you can hit this option to always, skip images that have already been keyworded and just keyword the new ones. So you can select the number of keywords that you want to generate. You can select the title length, and you can select how many words, how many repetitive words do you want within the lot of keywords. So for example, if you're titling an image about, healthcare, how many times do you want the word health to appear in the keyword set? I find that 4 is sufficient. Some agencies might, depending on the number of words that appear, how many times they've appeared in the keyword set, might consider it keyword spamming and reject that image. And the max amount of tries to get unique keywords. And set the default browse location. I'm gonna go ahead and set that. So whenever you click on this button, it will automatically go to that directory. So I'm going to set that one. Go to my desktop. And for now, I'm going to use the 4 demos. And so for the editorial section, you can choose your default city, state, and country, and it will default to this if you don't have it set in another location that I'll show you later. So I'm just going to say Hartford for now. I don't live in Hartford, but I do live in Connecticut. I'm just going to do CT. And for this, I'll say USA and save. And you can choose to use the image creation date for the editorial photos, so it will try and extract the date from the image to use in the editorial title. So I'm going to select that. And here you have some usage information, and then you have a buffer. So you can, copy titles and keywords from a particular image and then paste it across different images. All right, so now that I've made some changes, let's see. I'm gonna put 30 keywords, max title length at 180, and yeah, that's it for now. So I'm gonna close it again and reopen to make sure my settings were saved. I'm confident that they were, but just to be sure. Okay, so everything was saved. All right, so let's go ahead and hit browse, and it should open up to that default location that we set. So there we go. It is in the 4 demos folder. So I'm going to say OK. And you can see that it brought up all the images within that directory. All right, so those images already had keywords. I had forgotten that they had keywords, so I cleared those out off screen. And all right, so here we go. So we have the images loaded, and if you can see that we click on them, and it shows us a small preview. Yeah, so yeah, these are the images. So you have the image, a preview, you have some information about the image, and then for each image you also have the option to put in like city, state, country, and the date that the image was taken for editorial purposes. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and start keyword in these. So I have my images loaded, and all I have to do is hit the start keywording button. So let's do that. And it's going to go through and keyword the images. And just like that, it's doing it. And you can see it's going relatively fast. I can make it go significantly faster. But for now, I have it doing it sequentially. I could have it doing it in concurrently, different threads. But for now, I'll keep it just like this. This is fast enough. So there we go. So all of the images have been keyworded, and we can look at them. Good. So these last two images, I intentionally put them in, and I knew the AI was gonna, not title them or keyword them correctly, and that's because they're fairly abstract. And that's why I have this helper text. So you will want to put information here if the image is sufficiently abstract that it might be hard to recognize what it is. But in this case, it did recognize that this is an onion, and it titled it as such. So close-up image of mold covered red onion slice showcasing the stages of decay, emphasizing food spoilage and proper storage importance. So that's a very good title. I would have never come up with that title. And you can see the keywords reflect what is in the image. So mold, red onion decay, food spoilage. So these are very good keywords. Um, if I was to title and keyword this image, I would put more or less the same keywords, or probably less. So in this case, it's put in far more better keywords than I probably would have. But if we go on to this image, you can see that this is so abstract that it had no idea what was in the image, but it took its best guess. And it did identify that it is mold, but it's not meat, right? It's red onion. Um, so we can come to the helper text and we can say moldy red onion. And we can add that. And then we can go ahead and regenerate the title and the keywords. And it should use the helper text to come up with those. So now you can see that it regenerated the proper title and keywords. So we have close-up of spoiled red onion covered in mold and fungus, highlighting the decay and deterioration of organic food over time. Amazing, right? And you can see the titles are reflective of what is in the image. So if we come over to the folder, you can see that the metadata is already embedded within the images. So if I hover over all of these, they all have the keywords embedded within them. There you can see they're all there. And I will go ahead and upload these to Shutterstock. So if we go to upload, and I'm just gonna drag them. All right, so those are being uploaded. And once they're uploaded, Shutterstock should pull out the keywords and the titles. I won't submit them because I've already submitted these to Shutterstock, but I'll show you the process up until the point of submission. Alright, so they've been uploaded. So if I go to my pending content, not submitted, you can see them here. So these are all of the ones that we just uploaded. And I like the legacy view, so I'm going to switch back to the legacy view. So you can see if we click on it, keywords and title is present. And these are perfectly fine. So I would just say this is correct and this is correct. But you notice that we don't have categories, right? And that's because Shutterstock doesn't allow for it doesn't extract any categories from the images, nor does any of the other stock agencies for that matter. So that's where the CSV file comes in. So you can generate a CSV file. So if I put this over here and come back and we say create CSV file, and just like that, we have a CSV file. And I'm going to go and upload that. So right here, upload CSV file. So let me save whatever needs to be saved here. Click on upload CSV file and go to for demos, Shutterstock CSV. It always says there was a problem, but there's no problem. And it's still processing. Okay, so all of the 8 images have been processed. And save. Okay, so we'll just say this is correct again. Alrighty. So you can see all of the images now have the appropriate categories selected. So food and drink, technology. So there, it's as simple as that. And now all we would have to do is just select the images and then hit submit. Like I said, I'm not going to submit these because they're already within my Shutterstock portfolio. But you can see the power within that, right? You can title and keyword 100 images, 500 if you wanted to, and create a CSV file. And within matters of, 5 minutes or so, you've titled and keyworded 500 images and uploaded them, and you didn't even have to select categories. You just had to hit submit. So that's really powerful, and that can save you a significant amount of time, and it has saved me a significant amount of time. So I've taken my portfolio from about 1,700 images to now 4,200 photos within matters of months. So a few months, and I've uploaded thousands of images. So it's really powerful in that respect. I'm no longer limited by what content I photograph because I don't want to sit down and title those images. I can go around and photograph anything, just about anything, and yeah, have the app title and keyword them. And that's really important in the world of stock photography because diversity really matters in that regard, because then your portfolio will consist of a vast variety of different types of and kind of images. And you will be selling images year round, no matter what's going on within the world. Your images will be selling for sure. So let's see. Okay, so if I go back, oh yeah, and you can see the cost of titling and keyword in those images. So it was just 9 cents. Um, and that's that's something I'm willing to pay for, right? So for example, if I'm able to upload 500 images on Shutterstock or Adobe Stock, and it costed me $1.50 to do so. If I can't recoup $1.50 from 500 images that I've uploaded, I pretty much deserve to have wasted that $1.50. Um, so yeah, it's the cost is not significant, and for what you can upload, you will be recouping that cost in no time. All right, so I do want to test an editorial image. So I'm going to find an editorial photo and come back. All right, so I've downloaded some editorial photos I've quickly taken. So here we go. Folder here. And then I'm just going to go to the app and I'm going to reload the photos list. And you can see it brought in those images and it's creating the previews for them. So if I click on the image, you can see that's a picture of my daughter wearing Hello Kitty shirt, and we have some bird seeds and some goldfish. So these are editorial photos. So how is the model gonna work with that? Um, so first, let's go ahead and we're gonna want to skip all of these images. So we'll say, yeah, skip for batch and let's see. Oh, by the way, you can see that you can select your categories within the app itself. So if the AI didn't choose a category that you wanted, you can select it. And these are the actual categories from the agencies. All right, so we're going to mark that this is an editorial image, right? And similarly, this also is an editorial, and this is an editorial photo. All right, so let's clear this and have it go ahead and yeah, let's see the titles and the keywords that it generates for these editorial photos. So being editorial photos, it should know that there are intellectual properties within the image, and it will identify what those are and put them in the titles and the keywords. So let's see. So I'm going to hit start keywording. And boom, right there. Amazing. That's simply amazing. Look at that. Boom, voila. That's that's pretty good. So you can see that the editorial title is configured in the way that editorial titles should be, at least on Shutterstock. And you can see that it identified that this is Hello Kitty and it put it in the title and in the keywords. So smiling young girl in a Hello Kitty shirt posing on a black sofa. And in the keywords, we have girl, Hello Kitty, smiling young child sofa, etc. If we move on, you can see that it's identified that, you know, it's a bird food and it has the name and all of the relevant information within there that you should have in editorial photos. Similarly, we have this, and it titled it appropriately: Pepperidge Farm Goldfish Extra Cheddar, just the way it's written on there. So look how small that Pepperidge Farm is, and it was able to identify it. Yeah, so that's pretty much the app for the most part. Um, you can also, if you wanted, let's say you can copy all of the keywords to the buffer and copy the title, and then you can go through, and if for whatever reason you wanted to paste the title and the keywords to this image, it doesn't apply, but we'll just do it as an example. You can see apply title and keywords to current image, and if I do that, it's done just that. So if I come back, you can see, and if I was to go over to Windows and hover, you can see that it applied the title and keywords to that image. So I'm going to go ahead and just regenerate the title and image and keywords for this image. All right, so now we have our regular title and keywords. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. There's a few other things that you can play around with in the app here. Yeah, so this is available on my Patreon page. If you are a supporter, you will have access to it. And you will also have access to my help, support, and you will have input on the development of the app going forward. So, if you've identified bugs, you can let me know. I will fix those as soon as I can. If there's a feature that you want that is not there, you can let me know and I will work on that feature. Yeah, so you will have direct input on the future of Metaphoto AI. All right, guys, so that is it. The link to my Patreon page is in the description below. So, support the work that I do. I will be making more videos on this and stock photography in general. All right, so until next time, have a good one.